let's move on now to the Los Angeles Rams in our key player series. And Ryan and I, we talked a lot about which specific player we wanted to do. We honestly actually kept bringing up offensive line players. So we actually just decided to do the entire offensive line for the Los Angeles Rams, as they are probably going to be the key X factor in the overall success of the Los Angeles Rams in the 2023 season. But before we break down why, be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell if you have not already. Ryan and I, we have a lot more content coming out, including training camp videos, preseason videos, and also weekly prediction videos throughout the regular season. So if you want to see those videos and see all the Rams predictions, be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to get notified. And Ryan,
let's do it.
This is another team too. The Rams, they have a little bit more offensive talent than the Cardinals, but if you're looking at overall optimism coming into the 2023 season, it is still pretty low. Cooper Kupp is coming back. He could have come back, but there's no point in risking further injury at the end of the 2023 season. Matt Stafford is getting up there in age, and one of the key reasons why we focus on the offensive line is in 9 games, he gets sacked 29 times. And as a total throughout the team, and some of these they all can't be contributed to the offensive line and overall sacks. But still, when your quarterbacks get sacked 59 times throughout the season, there's a significant amount of blame has to go to the offensive line. And that was one thing that really stuck out to me. And there were some injuries. There were some people that they were trying to move in. And then also probably team morale once Stafford goes down, Cooper Kupp goes down. Not really too many other offensive weapons, so guys might start loading the box, which they did a bunch because that offense just struggled. It just pans them back to me then on the offensive line needs to keep Matt Stafford upright for this team to be successful here. We know what Matt Stafford can bring to the table. We know what Cooper Kupp's going to bring to the table. And they have good, young, skill position receiver players that we think that can assist in being good role players for Cooper Kupp, such as Van Jefferson, Ben Skowronek. They drafted Puka Nacua as well. Then also, too, if you're looking at then the running back, Cam Akers still kind of recovering from the torn Achilles, so we'll have to see how he bounces back. They did draft Zach Evans. A lot of those players outside of the first 2 of Stafford and Kupp that I mentioned, a lot of question marks on what they can bring to the table. But the offensive line is the rock. None of those guys are going to be able to bring anything to the table if the offensive line plays horrible.
Yeah, exactly. And that, to me, I think is what epitomized the Los Angeles Rams season last season. But aside from injuries, was just the offensive line. Andrew Whitworth retired. They had nobody to fill his spot. Then once when that started to kind of fall apart, injuries started to happen, and it was just this compounding effect of just injuries, poor offensive line play, Aaron Donald not having a whole lot of help. And so for me, I think the first step in getting the Los Angeles Rams back to being a Super Bowl contender, it starts with this offensive line. I liked the Steve Avila pick. I thought that was really, really good. I think they made a couple other additions as well.
They had a lot of picks. They had a lot of first round offensive line picks.
So
they had Warren McClendon in the 5th round, tackle from Georgia. They had several then other restricted free agent signings as well on the offensive line.
Yeah, and so that for me is
sorry, undrafted rookies. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Sorry. And so I really like what they've done there. I think it's a really solid way to kind of quickly patch up this offensive line, and hopefully that they can stay healthy and play together. But I think you look at with the way the NFL is going, I think the defense, they play bend, don't break style defense. They also maybe tend to make the more highlight reel plays, and they'll give up kind of the monotonous. Like they might get picked apart by 5 to 10 yard plays, but Aaron Donald's going to get his sacks. They're probably going to be creating a lot of turnovers. And so if this offensive line can come in and play, they can establish a better run game with Zach Evans, who you mentioned as possibly being one of the guys that we talked about on this subject. But if they can establish a run game and be consistent, I think this offense will be much better than they were last year.
Well, and that was a guy, too, where I initially was pushing hard for us to focus on Zach Evans and the opportunity I think that he has here in this season. But I think it was yourself that was like, well, if he doesn't, if the offensive line plays poorly, it's like no one's going to be able to do well. If we go look at the stats from last year in the running game, let me pull this up here. Their top rusher was Cam Akers, and he didn't even break 800 yards. So they only had 1,600 rushing yards total as a team. That includes all of the everybody, including the 9 yards that Matt Stafford had. So it's if the offensive line plays poorly, then this team can maybe beat Arizona and not be the last team in the division. But even just if you look at within the division, San Francisco and the 49ers have a great defensive line. The Seahawks are putting a lot of focus on the defensive line and have improved that area a lot. The defense just as a whole significantly improved. So they want to be any sorts of competitive in the division and also in the NFC. This offensive line has to play well.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I think that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video here for the Los Angeles Rams and their offensive line. Go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment down below on what you think of the Los Angeles Rams going into 2023. You think they're going to have a bounce back year and make the playoffs again? You think that it's going to be a slow rebuilding process? Let us know down below. And other than that, we will see you guys next time.